You are living too slowly. You're going to get into the habit of laziness. You're not going to get anything done. You don't want to be totally ruled by your emotions, but you want to check in with yourself throughout the day. Hello lovely feminine women, and welcome back to my channel. I am wearing my Saturday casual attire, but I really was in the mood to make another video. If you are new to my channel, please hit the red subscribe button, that lovely red button, so you can join our community of feminine women who also enjoy talking about homemaking. We have talked a lot about femininity in the past few videos, and I thought that it was time for a homemaking video. This is a simple yet super true and authentic video because these are the things that I do every single day as a homemaker. These are the habits, these are the tendencies that I do day after day. I would love to know in the comment section down below, what are your homemaking habits? What do you do every single day? I guess to become a successful homemaker, or at least to retain your sanity. Before we proceed in the video, I wanted to introduce myself if you happen to stumble upon my face. My name is Cynthia. If you couldn't tell by the title of the channel, I am a millennial homemaker and I am a former Miss Earth Canada. So without further ado, let me get into my first habit. The thing that I do every single day is I get up before my husband. I put this first because it's kind of like a controversial topic. I noticed that on Twitter or on Facebook, something like that, there was a woman who was criticized for waking up at 4:30 in the morning and making her husband coffee. But really, I do that. I don't get up at 4:30 in the morning, but I try to get up pretty early, at least before my husband, even on the days that we decide to sleep in. I just find that my day runs so much smoother when my husband has a smooth morning, and it really is one of the ways that I feel like I can bless him. It is one of those things that I have in control where I think that it makes our relationship better. Nobody is forcing me to do this. This is something that I like to do because I like to have a moment to myself. I like to situate myself, maybe have some Bible time before my husband gets up. He's not a big breakfast eater, but if he is a breakfast eater that morning, if he says that he wants breakfast, I will of course make breakfast for him. And I do not think that this is a degrading thing. I think that this is an act of love that you can show towards the other person if it is something that they truly appreciate. He would still be here, he would still love me if I didn't get up before him, but he definitely does appreciate it. Another point that I wanted to suggest, if this is something that you want to do, if you want to train yourself to wake up earlier, and eventually I will make a very early morning routine so that I can show you what I do in the mornings, but you can download those sleep cycle alarms. It's definitely going to help you get your sleep cycle adjusted, and you're not going to feel the shock of being woken up at a specific time because it goes with your circadian rhythm. The second habit that I have is that I always prepare my to-do list the day before, or at the very latest, the morning of. This helps me identify my top 3 things that I need to do in the day. If you have been a long-time subscriber to my channel, you know that I talk about prioritizing 3 big things in your day and structuring everything else around that. I use all different types of lists. You have seen me use pages. You have seen me use like little sticky notepads to do my to-do list. Currently, I'm using an Etsy printable that I will link down below. It doesn't have to be fancy. If you are an agenda person and that really works for you, I recommend go for it. But the goal is to kind of brain dump what you have to do the night before and to kind of have a structure so that you don't feel frazzled in the morning. It also helps you do those little tasks that we often forget, like thaw the meat that we need for dinner that day. The third thing is I tidy or clean for at least 1 hour per day. And I really believe that everybody should do this. Career woman or full-time homemaker, housewife woman, just commit yourself to 1 hour a day. This is why I have always advocated for the Clean With Me podcast. There are also other cleaning YouTubers that you can follow that do like hour-long extreme clean with me's that will help you block off that specific time, or you can download an app on your phone. You can time it for an hour. I find that this really helps reduce the kind of like anxiety surrounding cleaning because you know you're only committing to 1 hour. This is also going to align with perhaps your top 3 tasks for the day, because maybe one of those tasks is to get a deeper cleaning thing done. And when you set a timer for 60 minutes, you're less prone to feel more overwhelmed because you're going to know that if you don't completely finish that task in 60 minutes, you can wipe your hands clean and you can relax relax and is just done for the day. As homemakers, I think that it's easy to get into this cycle of never clocking out, but you have to clock out, because if you're going to take it seriously and you're going to take it like a job, you need to allow yourself the time to rest. And let's say that you do hire somebody to clean your house or to help you around your house. I still think that you need to take at least half an hour to tidy up around the home. You've also seen in one of my vlogs that I like to use a basket and start at one end of my house, go to the other end of my house, and pick up things that are kind of misplaced or things that I need to clean or whatever. Just throw it all into that basket and then do the second time around your house and place things where they are supposed to go. Going along with that kind of goes with the theory of cleaning as you go a little bit. And it's my fourth point, which is the 60-second rule. If you find that there is a task that needs attention and it can be done in less than a minute, then I encourage you to just drop whatever you're doing and actually do that task, because it's only gonna take 60 seconds. For example, I get a lot of fingerprints on my fridge because I have a touchscreen fridge and we write notes on there. There are many fingerprints and it takes less than 60 seconds to wipe that down. But there is a negative tendency that I have to say, okay, I'm just going to put it off to the day that I'm going to clean my kitchen. Instead of being like overwhelmed on that day that I clean my kitchen because I'm going to allot myself just 1 hour, I decide in that moment, I see fingerprints, I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing, I'm going to grab a rag, wipe it down, and it just makes my job easier in the future, and it helps me feel like I just have a bunch of control over my house. Again, you'll hear me harp on the topic of control, but that's what we're kind of going for as homemakers. We are going for like a well thought out life. The fifth point is to add little touches. Every day I try to think about how I can make the day a little bit more special, whether that be setting the table, whether that be finding some lovely flowers to put in my home, personalizing the scent, the towels, making sure that the area is nice and neat when my husband uses the bathroom. All of those little things that bring like touches of love into the everyday routine is something that is one of my priorities, because I truly do believe that your home is kind of like your little church. You are giving glory to God. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but also you want to feel like your home is an oasis for yourself, but also for the family members that come home after a long day. It makes the home a special place, and it helps section off the day from the working part to the more homey and relaxing part. The sixth point is so important. I make it a habit every single day to check in with myself. Checking in with yourself kind of means that you really address your mood. You're not just a robot robotically going through your day and checking off tasks. Maybe you need to change up your list. Maybe you need to scrap your to-do list altogether for that day, and you need to take some time for yourself. This kind of adheres to the concept that I've heard a lot of people talk about in the homemaking community, which is slow living. And another way to think about that is intentional living, like I just mentioned. You want to live intentionally. But remember that you do still want to be balanced, because on one side, if you are living too slowly, you're going to get into the habit of laziness. You're not going to get anything done. You don't want to be totally ruled by your emotions, but you want to check in with yourself throughout the day to see how your mental health is, and if you need to take a break, and if you need to rearrange your whole list. Maybe, like I said, you scrap your entire to-do list and you start a new one. That is totally okay. And sometimes family members will come home and they need a matter to be attended to immediately. Perhaps they have lived something in their life at work that needs some like emotional assurance. Don't brush them off, because really the relationship that you have with that person is so much more important than cleaning your toilet in that particular moment. The seventh thing that I encourage you to do is to connect with someone. Being a homemaker is kind of a very like isolating job. It can be very fulfilling if you have the personality for it, like I do. I'm more of an introverted person and I thrive at home, but I do find that forcing myself to have a social connection with somebody every single day helps me perhaps break out of a bad mood, and it helps reorient my perspective because I'm consuming what somebody else is saying. I like to do this through the wonderful Instagram groups that I have joined with some of you lovely homemakers, but I'll also take time to call up a friend, call up my mother, send a message to my mother-in-law, whatever it is to be able to connect with somebody else, and it really helps refresh my mind. The 8th and final point is that I try to get ready every single day. Now on these videos, you will see that I'm wearing a lot of makeup. The point is that I do wear a lot of makeup on the videos in order to not look so like flushed out. But on an everyday basis, I do not wear as much makeup. I like to just put on a little bit of mascara, maybe some eyeliner, lip color, and just a little bit of powder or a light foundation. If getting dolled up every single day is something that makes you feel motivated and is a habit that really brings you joy, I encourage you to do so. But I also think that there is this negative pressure that we want to look like these perfect housewife Barbie dolls. And I do not think that for many of us that is really realistic, because I know that so many of you have other commitments as well as children. But there's also the fact that I don't always think that that is totally healthy, because it's kind of making an idol out of beauty. Again, if it makes you feel confident and it makes you feel like a whole person, go ahead and do it. I'm just giving you the permission to not feel like you have to always hold yourself to that standard every single day. You want to seek balance again. I also wanted to mention that there was this magazine article from Southern Living that a few of you sent me and a few of you tagged me in, and it was about bringing back the house dress. The house dress, again, doesn't have to be like this perfect Barbie doll image, but wearing a dress and some light makeup can help you feel more feminine and more productive to the day. The reason why you want to get ready to some extent is because you want to be able to transition into your job as a homemaker. You will also see me actually put on my pajamas a little bit early in the night, because that is another signal to my brain that I am done with my homemaking job and I am ready to relax. So whatever works for you in terms of wardrobe, I encourage you to do it. That's all I have for you today. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what habits do you have as a homemaker? What are things that you do every single day? I would love to hear from you. I love to reply to all of you. I'm just overall sending you a lot of love. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit on a tangent, but it's very authentic for a Saturday in my happy mood. I will see you in our next video. Love you all, feminine women. Bye-bye.